The battle against wild boars is never over. These destructive animals wreak havoc year-round, tearing through fields and forests no matter the terrain or the season. In winter, the challenge only grows tougher. They vanish into snow-capped mountains and slip through frozen, shadowy forests where every step on the treacherous slopes demands caution. The blinding snow erases their tracks, making the hunt a test of patience and grit. But no matter how brutal the conditions, our mission doesn't change. Stop these invaders before they destroy the crops and livelihoods of hardworking locals. Today, come along with us on 2 thrilling hunts to see how we face the challenge head-on. Don't miss the next adventure. Hit that subscribe button and join us for more real hunts and wild stories from the field. We set out into the vast snow-blanketed mountains of the United States, fully equipped for the brutal cold. Rifles slung over our shoulders, binoculars in hand, and layers of winter gear strapped tight. We were prepared for whatever the frozen wilderness would throw at us. The hunt for wild boars in this icy terrain had officially begun. Nearly an hour passed as we followed deep tracks pressed into the thick snow. Suddenly, the team froze. A faint rustle broke the silence, so subtle it felt like the entire forest was holding its breath. I eased forward, raised my binoculars, and scanned the hillside. There they were, a herd of wild boars, gliding almost soundlessly in single file through the snow. My heart kicked up. Without hesitation, I steadied my rifle, sighted a heavy boar in the middle of the group, and took aim. Boom. The shot shattered the frozen silence, echoing through the mountains as the boar collapsed into the snow. Just a few yards away, my partner David dropped another, adding to the day's tally. The rest of the herd scattered in chaos, charging up a snowy ridge, right into the line of fire where David was already waiting. One straggler broke away from the frenzy, stumbling through the blinding snow and straight into my sights. The distance was perfect, the timing flawless. I squeezed the trigger. Boom. The massive beast crumpled into the drifts, never given a chance to fight back. Hours of steady tracking and patience had paid off in a single heart-pounding instant. We pushed deeper into the dense forest, where the churned-up snow told us the herd had been feeding moments earlier. Just ahead, 2 boars were still locked into their feast, heads down and completely oblivious to our presence. I steadied my aim and pulled the trigger. The shot cracked through the still air like thunder. One dropped instantly. The challenger was down. What do you think? Was that a flawless shot? Drop your thoughts in the comments. From there, we shifted into an entirely different hunt. The frozen forests of North America in the dead of winter made the perfect hiding ground for wild boars, and I knew things were about to heat up fast. My hunting dog cornered a boar nearly 5 times its size and drove it straight toward me. No hesitation. I raised my rifle, took my shot, and brought it down. The bullet cut through the air so fast it was almost invisible, striking the beast squarely. It dropped clean, the white snow framing the moment like a final scene in a movie. Would you call this a golden moment? Share your thoughts in the comments. Later that afternoon, we pushed deeper into the snow-laden woods. Out of nowhere, a boar exploded into a full sprint across the frozen forest. I locked onto it instantly, knowing the open clearing ahead was the perfect place to make the shot. Boom. The rifle cracked through the silence, and the boar skidded to a halt, collapsing into the icy drift. Just a short distance away, David fired again, bringing down 2 more in quick succession. As the daylight faded, the last rays slipped through the tall, aging trees, carrying with them both a chill and a surge of adrenaline. I steadied myself for the final shot of the day. The first bullet missed, and my heart nearly stopped. The boar spun and bolted. I quickly adjusted, fired again, and this time it crashed into the brush, falling hard. Brutal, yet unforgettable. Not far off, a single precise shot from my teammate brought down another with the same clean finality. What mattered most was that every moment unfolded within the law, guided by respect for nature and the principles of ethical hunting. This wasn't just the end of another forest chase. It was a testament to skill, patience, and honor. It's the kind of finish only a responsible hunter can truly appreciate. And just like that, the hunt came to an end. We returned with plenty of game, tired but grinning, satisfied that we had taken a real step in protecting this land from further damage. Wild boars are relentless, silent but devastating destroyers of farmland. Under the cover of night, they slip into fields and gardens, trampling crops, tearing through barns, and leaving families on the edge of despair. When their destruction goes beyond what farmers can endure, a new mission begins: track them down and stop the invasion. At that point, it's no longer just hunting, it's a fight to defend livelihoods, a battle between man and the wild. Will these beasts finally be driven back, or will they once again return as the nightmare that torments local farmers? Join us in today's relentless pursuit to find out. At first light, we pushed carefully into the deep forest, moving along a trail notorious for heavy boar activity. Rifles were loaded, GPS set, and the dogs were locked in, ears twitching at every sound. Each step was deliberate, the silence so thick that even the snap of a twig felt like a warning. Out of the thicket, a dark silhouette suddenly appeared, oblivious to the danger closing in. Instinct took over. I pivoted, raised my rifle, steadied my breath, and pulled the trigger. The crack of the shot echoed through the forest. The boar staggered forward a few steps before collapsing beneath the damp canopy. A heavy silence draped over the woods. We pushed deeper into the jungle, where sunlight struggled to cut through the thick leaves. Then, without warning, a massive beast exploded from the brush, its hulking frame tearing through the trees like a bolt of fury. I didn't hesitate. My sights locked on, finger tightened, and the shot rang out. The bullet struck true. The beast crashed down, skidding across the carpet of fallen leaves before coming to rest. Just when we thought the fight was finished, less than 10 minutes later, two thick-bodied boars exploded out of the brush, charging straight at me. I stayed calm, lifted my rifle, and drew a steady breath. One shot, then another. Both bullets hit clean. The beasts collapsed onto the forest floor, powerless to fight back. Then came the call from my team, fresh boar movement spotted in the open field ahead. No time to hesitate. I broke from the canopy and sprinted toward the clearing, rifle ready. The chase was on again. Out in the distance, a dark figure cut across my line of sight, a massive, full-grown wild boar, charging with raw aggression. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle, steadied my stance, and fired. The crack of the shot thundered across the open field. The boar jolted and dropped lifeless onto the damp earth. The echo rolled like a shockwave, and suddenly the thicket ahead erupted. An entire herd burst out, scattering in every direction, panicked and desperate to escape. I adjusted quickly, zeroed in on a fast runner, and pulled the trigger. Another clean hit, the beast toppled. The rest scattered wildly across the plains, but I wasn't done. I sprinted after the herd, and just 2 minutes later a massive boar cut across my flank, charging blindly for an escape. I spun, raised the rifle, and fired. The shot landed true. The animal crashed into the grass, thrashed for a moment, and then went still. At that very moment, on the far side of the field, my teammate was already in position. He caught sight of a massive boar charging through the tall grass, raised his rifle, and fired. The bullet struck true. The beast staggered and dropped instantly. One precise shot, clean and final. The hunt closed with heart-pounding tension and unforgettable confrontations. From tangled forest trails to wide-open fields, every trigger pull was more than just a test of aim. It was a responsibility, a duty to shield the land from destructive invaders. Every step of this mission was carried out under strict legal guidelines, ensuring the control of invasive species while protecting both people and the environment. Welcome to Northwoods Pursuit. Wild boars are more than just crop destroyers. They're masters of hiding in rugged, unforgiving terrain, putting even the most experienced hunters to the ultimate test. Facing them means meticulous preparation, steady nerves, and battles that push skill and endurance to the limit. Can these sharpshooters stop the relentless march of these destructive beasts? Come along for the chase, the standoffs, and the heart-pounding ambushes that follow, and pick your favorite hunt. If you love the thrill of the wild, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another adventure. The forest was thick with shadows, every branch and rustle charged with suspense. From his carefully chosen hiding spot, Thomas scanned the undergrowth, alert to the slightest movement. Then, out of the gloom, a herd of wild boars emerged, their heavy bodies shuffling through the brush. In one swift, practiced motion, Thomas raised his rifle. A sharp volley of shots cracked through the night, dropping the two largest hogs where they stood. The rest scattered in a frantic blur, vanishing into the dark timber. But Thomas wasn't done. He knew the damage these animals could cause if left unchecked. Moving deeper into the woods, he caught sight of a lone boar breaking away from the chaos, its silhouette weaving through the trees. Steadying his breath, he tracked its erratic path through the scope. One clean pull of the trigger, and the boar crumpled on the spot. Another precise hit, another mark in a night's work that was far from over. Elsewhere in the hunt, the pursuit hits its peak. From his concealed vantage point, another marksman spots two boars barreling straight toward him. He drops into a steady stance, tracking their movement through the sights. A single shot cracks through the air, and one drops instantly. The second bolts, but he's not about to let it slip away. With a quick hand signal toward the blockade team down the ridge, the trap tightens. Moments later, another rifle report echoes through the valley. The last runner falls, bringing an end to the havoc these wild brutes had unleashed. Almost in the same breath, another boar bursts into Nick's sights. A quick burst of gunfire stops it cold, a second hesitation, and it might have vanished into the trees. That well-placed shot means one less menace to the land. Up on the hillside, Nick's team stands ready for whatever comes next. Stationed at the blockade, he listens as steady gunfire rolls down from the higher ground. Through the tangle of underbrush, a wily boar darts and weaves, searching for a gap. But with years of experience and an unshakable focus, Nick steps in and shuts off its only escape. Today's destination is a licensed hunting estate in Candela, a town in the province of Avalon. Our first encounter with the beasts happens before we even arrive. A wild boar charges straight at us, showing no hesitation. Realizing the danger, we act immediately. One shot, and the animal drops dead. After reaching the mountain, we release the hunting dogs, who quickly spread out to track the prey. Before long, a large boar dashes out. Unfortunately for it, every step is already in our sights. Diego, one of our hunters, raises his rifle and fires decisively. The boar staggers and collapses moments later. While part of the crew holds position down the slope, my partner and I push higher into the ridge to help Dante flank another boar. By the time we arrive, the hounds have it pinned in a tight corner. All that's left is a steady aim, a clean squeeze of the trigger, and the fight is over. Without wasting a moment, I push on a few hundred meters farther into the wild. Now alone in the rugged backcountry, every sense is sharpened. The dog's barking grows louder, echoing through the trees, and my pulse quickens to match the rhythm. I tighten my grip on the rifle, scanning for movement. In less than 10 seconds, the opportunity comes. I fire off several quick, controlled shots. The adrenaline surges through me, leaving my hands buzzing. I grab the radio and call it in, letting the team know the job's done. Hunting wild boar isn't just about the thrill of the chase. It's about protecting the land, crops, and the balance of nature. Every clean, ethical shot helps keep these powerful animals from overrunning farms and damaging ecosystems. It's a responsibility that demands skill, respect, and a deep understanding of the wild. If you value conservation as much as adventure, stick with us. There are more hunts, more challenges, and more lessons from the great outdoors coming your way. Hit that subscribe button and join us on the next pursuit. You don't want to miss it. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, your front row seat to the real, gritty stories from America's heartland. Right here in Lubbock, Texas, where the summer sun blazes across the plains, farmers are locked in a high-stakes showdown with a relentless enemy, wild boars. Imagine pouring your heart into months of backbreaking work, only to wake up the field shredded, fences smashed, and your livelihood in ruins, all thanks to these invasive pests. From Texas to the Midwest, wild boars are tearing through farms, racking up billions in damages and threatening the backbone of rural America. But in West Texas, we're not backing down. We're rolling out bold, cutting-edge solutions that are turning heads and sparking heated debates. Hit that subscribe button, join our journey, and help us hit 10,000 subscribers to keep these stories alive. These wild boars aren't just a Lone Star State headache. They're a coast-to-coast crisis rampaging through states like Georgia, California, and beyond. These destructive invaders shred crops, foul water sources, and spread diseases like pseudo-rabies, putting livestock and even human safety at risk. The financial toll is staggering, with farmers losing over $2.5 billion annually. Picture this. Just last summer near Interstate 87 in Texas, a farmer watched a herd of 30 hogs, each tipping the scales at up to 250 pounds with razor-sharp tusks, obliterate 50 acres of crops overnight. In South Carolina, farmers are reeling from millions in losses as boars trample their fields. In Kansas, one season saw 200 acres of prime corn turn to wasteland, costing a jaw-dropping $300,000. With sows birthing up to 10 piglets twice a year, these fast-breeding beasts can wipe out hundreds of acres in a flash, transforming fertile farmland into a war zone. Beyond ravaging farmland and invading city streets, tired of wild hogs ravaging their fields, Lubbock farmers have ditched old-school hunting methods that often spook herds and amplify the chaos. Instead, they've turned to pen trapping, a savvy, efficient solution that's changing the game. Just beyond the city limits, they set up sturdy 40-foot wide cages crafted from 5-foot-high steel panels anchored with T-posts, built tough to handle even the rowdiest hogs. Loaded with tempting bait like corn and fruit scraps, these traps draw hogs in with a promise of an easy feast. It's a calculated process. Farmers scout for telltale signs, hoof prints, torn up soil, or muddy wallows along the Brazos River. Then let the hogs come and go for a week to build confidence. With trail cameras tied to smartphone apps, they keep a close eye on the pens, waiting for the perfect moment when an entire herd, sometimes 40 strong, is inside. A quick tap on the app slams the gate shut, trapping the hogs in one fell swoop. In a single night, a farmer can nab 30 or more hogs, saving countless acres of crops. In 2024 alone, Lubbock farmers trapped over 60,000 hogs, proving this method blows hunting out of the water. The job doesn't end when the gate drops. Geared up to protect against razor-sharp tusks and potential diseases, farmers carefully herd the captured hogs into trailers. The USDA Wildlife Services takes it from there, either hauling the animals to processing facilities or culling them to curb disease risks. To keep future invasions at bay, farmers bolster their defenses with electric fences and motion-triggered lights, creating a fortress around their fields. These smart, modern tactics have slashed crop losses in Lubbock by an impressive 35% in just one season, showing that with sharp strategy and cutting-edge tools, farmers can take back their land from the wild hog scourge.
That's pretty good.
The wild hog invasion tearing through Texas has sparked a heated clash among farmers, hunters, lawmakers, and conservationists, each with their own take on how to stop the rampage. These invasive boars are shredding crops and wrecking ecosystems, pushing some Texas legislators to champion unrestricted hunting as a quick, boots-on-the-ground solution that puts power in local hands. But others argue that free-for-all hunting just scatters the herds, making the problem worse, and instead call for state-backed trapping programs that offer a smarter long-term fix. Hunters, protective of their time-honored sport, bristle at the idea of traps sidelining their passion, while ecologists warn that hogs are bulldozing habitats critical for native species like deer and quail. In Austin, lawmakers are stuck in a deadlock, debating whether to bankroll trapping efforts or loosen hunting rules, leaving farmers caught in the crossfire to defend their livelihoods against an unrelenting foe. Elsewhere, states like South Carolina and Kansas lean heavily on hunting to combat the hog surge, but it's no walk in the park. Wild boars are sharp, fast, and armored with thick fat, making them elusive targets. In South Carolina, seasoned hunters and farmers rely on heavy-hitting rifles like the Remington 700 and .308 Winchester or AR-15s with 6.5 Grendel rounds for their pinpoint accuracy and raw power, dismissing underpowered options like .22 LR pistols as deadweight. Rookie errors, misjudging angles, or overlooking hog anatomy often mean missed shots and wasted hunts, with licensing sometimes running as high as $1,500. To tip the scales, hunters use sharp tactics like sniping from opposing hilltops or unleashing dogs to drive hogs from thick brush. In Kansas, late summer to early fall is peak season, with archers wielding compound bows for deadly precision. They bait hogs with corn doused in strong attractants, setting up within 30 to 40 yards from compact 30 to 50 square foot lines, staying hidden while zeroing in on
Our hunting experience in the swamp has come to an end. How do you feel about today?
To tackle the growing wild boar threat, Kansas has unleashed a daring plan: nighttime hunts from vehicles equipped with high-powered headlights, taking advantage of the hogs' after-dark foraging. This high-stakes approach requires intense training and at least 20-foot vision to ensure hunters can spot and shoot with precision in the dark. By day, they switch gears, relying on bows and arrows, blending into the landscape with camouflage and stealth to outwit the hog's keen senses. The strategy is delivering results, with Kansas hunters taking down an average of 250 hogs per month during peak season. Meanwhile, South Carolina's Relentless campaign has wiped out over 15,000 hogs, shielding farmers from an estimated $115 million in yearly crop and livestock losses. This content is for educational and awareness purposes only, showcasing methods that comply with local laws and ethical hunting standards.